Hello, this is El from highheelsandgreatdeals.co.uk, and this talk is about the Siege of Orgrimmar post 6.0.2 patch. This is where we got our new spells and our new spell sets and the item squish and things like that. Last night our guild ran Siege of Orgrimmar on Heroic Flex, which is the old normal, and it'll be a very quick talk as you'll see because the actual whole experience is pretty quick. The main thing I can say from it is go out and have fun. Everything seemed to drop a lot quicker. Bear in mind we were an 8 of 14 heroic guild, so we were quite well geared, but we managed to do all the bosses in about 2 hours and 15, including when spoils bugged out on us. Everything just reset and killed us for no reason. We could see, we think it's because we opened too many boxes. The main thing, as I said, is have a bit of fun with it. It's almost like you're trotting through old content now. And one thing you can do with it on the serious side, I guess, although we found it very hard to take it a bit seriously last night, is just to get familiar with those new spells and talents. Check out your keybinds, check that things are where you want it, try out your different level 90 talents to see what Cascade does, see what Divine Star does, do what Halo does, or doesn't do in terms of healing. Also try out things like your Holy Nova, try out your penance healing, shields and things like this. The other thing really is all I can say is make sure that you use this time to look at your UI, to try things out. If you want to try new add-ons, you want to swap between things like Tell Me When or Weak Auras or anything like that, go for it and try it at this point because there is lots of time you'll be able to have to get these things right, because actually the encounters themselves aren't really that challenging. I think we probably everyone died a couple of times. I remember dying standing in a pool of goo in spoils because I couldn't remember where I keybound Cascade, so I was trying to look it up in Voodoo. It was that silly in some respects that we had that much time to not worry about people dying. So from a point of view of how raiding is going to feel in Warlords of Draenor, I don't think this is going to tell us much. It's not a complaint. The main thing that I hope it's used for is that Blizzard can use the damage outputs and things like that on these fights to balance the classes. But as far as healing feels, I don't think that the damage is going to... the damage patterns certainly in Siege of Orgrimmar are going to match those of Warlords of Draenor. So the main thing to do at the end of all this is not to read too much into the numbers that come out of it. Again, I seem to top the meters as a disc priest on a lot of the fights. Does that mean that we're overpowered or anything like that? I doubt it, because most of our healers are either trying different things or probably DPSing. You know, it's a pretty strange night when as a disc priest, I'm using Mindseer to help pull down mobs because really there's nothing to heal. On Thok, it was pretty interesting in the sense that it's sort of Holy Nova for the win now. I just sat there spamming the same spell for about 30 seconds in phase 1. Sure, I threw a few shields out as well in that just to stop my boredom, but it was just interesting that a fight like that, which had been quite challenging before, now just seemed to be a one-button spam. I don't expect to see that in Warlords of Draenor because, as I say, the encounters are designed for the way that the incoming damage patterns will change and the way that our classes are set up. So the main thing after this is, what do I feel about Siege of Orgrimmar? I'll be glad to see the back of it. It was a little bit of fun, but it just got a little bit tiring in the end by the end of the 14th boss. When you one-shot Garrosh with a few new players in there, then that you'd expect to die just because they don't know the mechanics, then perhaps it's not the challenge that it used to be. Having said that, it's good for your heirlooms for leveling. It's good for you to practice your spells and look at your talents and try different things, set up that UI, and mainly have fun. It's still fun to raid. It's still great messing about with your guild mates and things like that. So if you don't have the opportunity, try and even find some OQ raids or looking for group raids. And get your feet wet at this time, because at the moment the sort of damage coming in isn't going to cause any problems. That's it, a very quick wrap up.